Hello everybody, my name is Luke Mar and this is HauteLeMode, and today on HauteLeMode we are looking at Amazon Prime's Making the Cut, the fashion design competition show hosted by one of the biggest retailers in the world. The show is being hosted by former Project Runway stars and hosts Heidi Klum and Tim Gunn, and well, in reality it is the third fashion design competition show to come out and, you know, sort of reinvigorate the industry. And it's in competition with another big streaming service, Netflix's Next in Fashion, so I thought we should talk about it. But listen, I think we might be doing multiple episodes because this show truly deserves it. So before we get any further into the video, if you guys are looking for a channel that talks about fashion in the most fun, sassy, bitchy, analytical way you can go down below, hit the subscribe button, and turn on my post notifications. I mean, what do you have better to do? You're most likely in quarantine. And if you guys are looking to see more from me, you can follow me on any of my social medias linked down below. And you guys can check out the Fashion Victims podcast as well, which is a podcast I do with my friend Darnell Jamal, where we talk about the fashion news and gossip you need to know. And now that that is all out of the way, let's talk about Making the Cut. Let's just get into it. Let's do a synopsis. Let's look at the runway. Let's look at the critiques. Let's look at it all. It is an hour and 9 minutes long. It's long, okay? Heidi and Tim are back though. I believe Heidi is wearing Monse, the New York-based brand. Okay, from the very beginning, it's that good old Project Runway cringe content, but with a different tint. Literally, the tint of the camera just makes everything feel more serious, and truly, it isn't. Heidi and Tim go on to look for all the designers, and the first one has on a pink paillette gown. Like, who dresses like that? And Martha here also has on a leather cowgirl belt. I'm lost at how the contestants have been chosen for this show. Like, what are the qualifications? I need to see a detailed list. Esther from Germany lets us in on a little secret, and it's the fact that the designers are international. Thank God, because honestly, I get really tired of having like 4 different Britneys from Kansas, you know, making their dreams come true in the big city, New York. The other designers are also from places like the United States, Italy, Belgium, Israel, and Malaysia, although they're mostly European countries. There are around 12 to 13 contestants, which is smaller than Next in Fashion, but this will also allow us to get to know them a bit better, I think. Heidi and Tim also announced the prizes for the show at this point, which is $1 million for the winner, as well as the ability to sell their final collection on Amazon. That's a lot of money. Like, that is a lot of money for a fashion brand to get an infusion of. It's big. On top of that, the winners of each episode will be allowed to actually sell their winning garments. This is what Making the Cut uniquely different than the rest of the fashion design competition shows. It has the ability to actually materialize these pieces for its audience, which is kind of a big deal in retailing. Now, this is not exactly new, as Project Runway back when Heidi and Tim did it, did try to capitalize on designers' clothing being made revolving around the episodes. The show tried during a certain season that I can't really remember off the top of my head to get the winners' garments of each week made, but I remember that it didn't exactly pan out during that season. It just kind of fell through. Bravo, who now houses Project Runway with Christian Siriano and Carly Claus, does have certain winning looks available as made-to-order pieces, but only from certain episodes. But for Amazon, who owns Amazon Prime, where Making the Cut streams, it's actually a really high-stakes competition show. They've been trying to grow Amazon Fashion, their destination to sell clothes, but it hasn't always worked for the high fashion set. Why buy luxury items from Amazon when you could buy them at chic, curated shops like Essence and Net-a-Porter? But Amazon has the manufacturing, distribution, and financial capabilities to produce these looks with little risk, and if a particular designer takes off as a result of the show, their main retailer would be Amazon, who might offer them partnership deals, resulting in the designer becoming popular for their e-retailer. I mean, think about it like QVC and Isaac Mizrahi. I'm not saying it's good, but it happens. In reality, it's a brilliant move for Amazon Fashion. I just have a question, like, sustainability-wise. Was it kind of necessary to bring a bunch of designers from all around to New York and then fly them to Paris, because like some of them came from Malaysia to New York, or some of them came from Italy to New York. It just seems a little bit unsustainable, Amazon, and no offense, you don't have the best reputation currently. I also assume Paris is where we'll meet the other judges like Joseph Altazara, Corrine Rotfeld, Naomi Campbell, and Nicole Richie. Heidi announces that the Making the Cut store is available, and I'm interested to see if the clothing actually sells, so we will get into that later in this video. I will say the Belgian, Sander, has piqued my interest only because Belgians are incredibly iconic. Think the Antwerp Six, Margiela, and Raf Simons, just to name a few, or 8. For Sander, I expect him to be good based on geography, which might be unfair, but like, who knows? Listen, better things have happened. We also need to talk about Martha. She is gaudy in her pinks and iridescence and with all her fucking bracelets. Like, it's truly offensive, but I'm kind of hoping she becomes the Gianni Versace of the pack and wows me. I also can't with the captain hat because it's like, do you think you're Fergie? You're not Fergalicious Definitious. Also, let's just note that she has an eye for the shiny stuff, so let's just call her Magpie Martha. Will is then introduced, and let's be real, the leather toga needed no introduction. Now did it? He does mention that he's from Paris, Ohio, which isn't exactly Paris, but you know, you can have the name. But I did find it interesting the part where he mentions the honor of showing in Paris. Originally, I scoffed. I mean, showing in Paris as the creative director of a French brand is an honor, such an honor. And I maybe, in my mind, see this show as a lot less of an honor than that. But I guess in hindsight, getting to show your pieces with the Eiffel Tower in the background is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime experience, so I guess I can be happy for them. Also, let's note that Will has worked for some good New York brands, being 3.1 Philip Lim and Oscar de la Renta, so maybe like next in fashion, these designers are somewhat the real deal. Okay, kind of love the workroom. It's so less Let's Be Modern and dark and studio-like, and it's just very French. I kind of love Esther's punk vibe and hoping to see what she brings to the table as well. Let's note Stitchin' and Bitchin'.
Stitchin' and bitchin' over here. It's what me and Megan's gonna be doing in our little corner.
Amazon, make it a t-shirt and advertise it to those buying gifts for kids going to fashion school. They can give it to the new graduates as they ask the age-old question, will you make something for me? And the fashion student usually replies, I'm studying PR, Aunt Linda. Tim arrives at the workroom and announces that the designers will be showing 2 looks that showcase the designer's brand identity. It also seems that every runway show will have a commercial look and some sort of avant-garde look, which honestly is the best of both worlds for me, and cuts out the idea that a designer's work isn't commercial enough. Tim also announces that the designers will get a seamstress to help them, which, from what I've heard, does happen elsewhere, but this is the first time I'm hearing it be announced publicly. While to some it may take away the magic of a designer creating a look head to toe, it actually gives the audience a look into the reality of what really goes on with fashion brands in the real world. It will actually allow the designers the ability to focus on the concept and construction, well, at least hopefully. The designers also will get to explore Paris for inspiration, and with that, we get to hear a bit how they think and where they draw inspiration, which I have to say is nice. I like getting a look into the girls' thought processes. Then we get introduced to Magpie Martha more, and oh my god, the shot with the sequin tops, just shoot me now. I'm tired of Heidi saying titillating. We now are getting to the nitty-gritty of the show though. The stage is set, the fabrics are chosen, and now the designers, well, have to design something. We are introduced to Ji-won, a Korean-American designer, who discusses her early struggles with expressing her South Korean identity. But when I start to see the line work in her clothing, I realize I've seen her work before. Her Parsons collection wore these beautiful graphic-like looks, and it resulted in her getting a collaboration collection with Adidas, as well as being carried by Yoox, who owns Net-a-Porter. So I'm excited to see her trajectory in this competition. I mean, listen, they've talent here. I like to see it. Magpie Martha not knowing how to cut patterns though is a big no-no, and Troy saying,
it's not a suit, but it's an ensemble.
stunning material. Okay, I like Esther's sketches, especially the commercial dress. The color is gorgeous. Sabato seems super duper wise, and I'm excited to see what he creates. Will also discloses that in order to have your seamstress make your pieces overnight, you have to give them a tech pack. Essentially, a tech pack has all the pattern pieces as well as construction instructions, and it's really cool that making the cut is actually explaining the process of how fashion is created. And it's not just an easy peasy thing. Wait, Magpie Martha did not make clothing using that print. Ji-won goes for her classic stripes and line work, and Magpie Martha mentions that she's doing a drop waist dress, and I don't think this woman understands the concept of taste. Maybe she had certain symptoms during filming? Who knows? The part where she says,
"Do you see what I see?" Maybe.
I see a lot. I think one of my issues is the baby blue.
I say her whole aesthetic is my issue. Troy, Josh, Megan, Sander, and Renat all get good but pretty short critiques. Jasmine is all about draping, and I'm hopeful she can actually showcase new and experimental ways to drape, as it could be fun to watch. They also use Jasmine to briefly touch on the issue of plus-size dressing, but it isn't particularly informational or even really addressed. So far, I'm not really loving Johnny, and Tim's critiques didn't help me like him any better. Then Tim says the next big global fashion brand is in this room. And well, I think it's very early to say that, Timothy. Magpie Martha gets her parental storyline about missing her children, which is tough. But also, it's only the first episode. Maybe wait a couple to bring that up? The show also to me feels very low energy. Not that that is necessarily a bad thing, but the designers don't seem to be running around and stressed yet, which is not very accurate of the fashion industry because we all eat, sleep, and breathe running around and being stressed. Miss Sanders said, "Call me Greg Green, bitch." Esther is putting a lot of weight on the seamstress, who we haven't actually seen yet, and I'm wondering if we will. Yikes for Esther though, because the dress has not turned out well for her. And now they expect her to start from scratch with 2 hours left. That is insane. I don't know if that's physically possible. The models come to do their second fitting for the show, and Tim arrives as well. I see a bow being put over a Converse sneaker, and I am going to freak out about Martha. She is something. Okay, so they're dead ass showing in front of the Eiffel Tower, and well, honestly, that's kind of chic. I'm gonna say it. Okay, update, just saw the runway. Much less chic than I originally anticipated. Heidi and Tim introduce themselves and the prizes again, and then they begin to introduce the judges. Altazara, again, sorry, I don't get it. I didn't even know that he still was in fashion. As for Miss Corinne Rotfeld, she's a living legend. Truly. Corinne was the former editor-in-chief of French Vogue, though, and is rife with scandal revolving around her friend and collaborator, Tom Ford. But we'll get into that in a later video. Wait, Nicole Richie. Okay. And now they're saying House of Harlow like it's not sold on Revolve. Don't try to add heritage to a brand that doesn't have much heritage. Also, her dress is awful. Sorry, I just had to say it. I know what I could use that slit for though. Okay, Naomi is here. This might be fun. I'm very excited because listen, if there's one thing Naomi Campbell is great at, I mean, besides modeling and being a humanitarian and being an amazing comical person, it's being a judge on a competition show.
I don't know that it was definitely the worst one.
Also, let's note that this woman can truly pull off just about anything. She looks magnificent in that baby doll dress. All right, so let's get into the looks. We're gonna dress them as they come down the runway, and we're starting off with Megan. The runway look is a bit student project. Python print, especially as so many brands have had it on their shelves for years at this point, is never gonna make you stand out in a good way. The little off-the-shoulder top mixed with a taffeta-looking balloon skirt isn't particularly interesting either. And then the gold chain, it's just blah. The more accessible look is also pretty blah. I agree with Corinne. It's much better in tailored form and the suit fits decently enough, but the ruffle on the one side kills me. And the stripe is not at all chic. I think we need Megan to edit and innovate, especially for her runway styles. Next up is Ji-won. I truly think her accessible look is fantastic. It's very similar to her aesthetic, so she's definitely showcasing her brand's DNA. The piping of white on the navy blue throughout is superb and really plays with graphics in a smart manner. It doesn't have to be a print, but it's still graphic. The look is definitely oversized, with the pants being high-waisted and wide-legged, as well as the top having baggy sleeves, but that doesn't mean skin can't be shown, as the crop top feel adds a nice playfulness, and the long knee slits are there as well. The runway look isn't that great in my opinion. The ruching is nice, but a bit lost in the white, while the red strips of fabric don't read as luxurious as I'd like. I also don't think the shape of the dress is particularly good. I think having a sleek catsuit underneath would have been better, and I wish that Tim hadn't advised against it earlier. Next up is Renat. Her accessible look was definitely accessible, but didn't have any particular punch to it. It's a cocktail dress with one long draped sleeve, which isn't anything of interest, and I just think the placement of the central drape that creates a circle near the armpit is just very strange. Like, why do you want people to focus there? The runway look is truly worse, and at this point I didn't think that was actually possible. It just looks like a deconstructed version of a Jacquemus menswear collection, or maybe it's just a sad attempt at a Jean-Paul Gaultier look. I can't really tell at this point. The double-breasted button that leans towards one side also is just not flattering. All in all, it looks like she took a blazer from the donate pile and safely pinned it tightly round the model's body, aka it's something anybody could do. So Will and Renat made the same runway dress, except Will's was in leather. Like, you're meant to be showing your brand DNA. Is your brand DNA a one-sleeve leather cocktail dress I could find on Fashion Nova? I hope not. It being way too short isn't really a valid critique, as many an iconic designer has made things that were far too short. Will's accessible look is also an absolute disaster. It's frumpy and has no shape to it whatsoever. Also, that gold is literally so gaudy, but isn't actually designed. It's just been made by a seamstress. I guess his brand DNA really is knockoff of other designers, but in shimmer fabrics. Yikes. Johnny, again, it's a runway look. I don't want to see an A-line dress with ruched sleeves. It's just so meh. There is nothing that represents Johnny's DNA on that runway look. And also, I feel like I've seen Midwestern tourists wear that dress in the streets of New York, and that is not an aesthetic you want to have associated with your brand DNA. Unless you do, in which case I'm sorry for you. The men's look is worse. The vest is awful. Maybe they could have given Johnny a job at Burberry. They're usually looking for designers that are really good at f***ing up the classic trench coat, no? The wide leg pants are dreadful, and those shoes are also atrocious. Like, Jesus, they might be giving the designers $1 million, but the accessories budget got left high and dry. Jasmine, her accessible look was accessible and used a flowy fabric, but in reality was incredibly dull. Maybe you've sold thousands of sack dress styles, but it doesn't mean that they should have been sold. Also, am I meant to be able to see the powder blue slip dress underneath? And have you seen the back of that plunge? It looks like it's being held together by a chip clip. The runway look is nice in a flowy green, but again, I'm not seeing anything new. Like, it's pretty, but pretty only gets you so far. Let's talk about Josh. I was disappointed in Josh's runway look. He looked so cool with all his tattoos and the black that I was hoping he might have something interesting to show. But alas, the belt on the boring black cocktail dress was, well, grounds for immediate dismissal in my opinion. I'm never one to say something is too short because I love everything, but I really did think I was going to see cheek here, and then I didn't, and I was like, oh god, disappointing in more ways than one. His accessible look kept the belt theme going. I guess belts are part of his brand DNA, so any hope I had for him just went out the door. But at least Maria Grazia will have a new accessories designer, no? The dress's prints then were gone with the windowsill, but meets knockoff Prabal Gurung, and honestly, I'm just tired of this. Troy. Oh my god, what is happening? All of these designers are so boring. Did Troy make sweatpants with slits for his runway look? I can't with the bird t-shirt and the blazer fabric and the pant fabric not matching, which is just pissing me off. The accessible look is like a contrasting print kimono without any of the drama of a kimono. Not even the glove sleeves could save it. The part where he said, Tim, we did it, and Tim just responds, you did it. Yeah, Tim wants no responsibility for your bullshit. Magpie Martha. I cannot believe this woman sent a drop waist dress down the runway. I weirdly don't think the blue taffeta fabric is awful, but she mixes it with that print and it just looks like she fished it out of the clearance bin at Joann's Fabrics. Also, the Converse make it even worse, and that was the runway look. The accessible look legit reminds me of Virginie Viard's recent Chanel collection with the bandeau tops, and I mean, listen, for Magpie Martha and Chanel, that is not a good comparison. The house printed pajama cotton fabric is atrocious. The bra that is messily knotted in the center makes me wonder if she expected the Amazon customer to self-tie the bandeau each time they wore it. I just can't believe she made poor Naomi Campbell have to look at that. Next up is Sabato. When I said Sabato was wise, I don't think I was wrong. The dresses are incredibly simple and, in a way, somewhat similar to those I just recently obliterated, but Sabato did two things right. He used black to play with silhouette, creating a veil shape that adds drama and a new shape to the garment. And with his runway look, he allows the black to be the background to the theatricality of his piece, which created a wrap of sorts when the veil falls down around the shoulders of the dress. I'll call it a piece. It had drama. It was a moment. I'm into it. The accessible look feels a lot younger and creates a train which utilizes the armholes that helped create another veil. While Jasmine said her brand DNA was about draping and flowy fabric, Sabato showed he had a nice little mastery of the style and isn't afraid to give us a bit of Italian theatricality either. Next up is Sander. Sander's runway look was also blah. It was a blue blazer dress with the right shoulder having a stick through it that exposed the arm, and I'm wondering, like, is it a convenient compartment for dog trainers? I don't know. There just isn't any point to it, and I can't stand designers that use boring garments and try to spice them up with gimmicks that in reality have nothing to do with the design. It's like getting an amazing looking ice cream sundae that is overflowing with whipped cream. And once you realize, oh, there's too much whipped cream, I need to get to the ice cream, you see there's just one measly, melty scoop of vanilla at the bottom of the glass. That is what is going on here. The accessible look isn't terribly accessible in my opinion either, especially with those awful ruffles. I like the idea of the train on the string, but adding the ruffles and the red swipe of paint across the chest is just so bad movie villain costume that it loses the little effect we were gonna get. Next up is Esther. Esther's accessible look is another black dress with a draped sash of fabric around the waist and short oversized sleeves. All in all, I'm kind of tired of seeing black cocktail dresses on this runway. The runway look is in the same fabric and is essentially just a top and pant version of the dress, but with a bit of deconstruction thrown in. The top is really just a balled up version of the accessible look dress, and the pants aren't fitted immaculately, so I don't care. Jesus Christ, was that it? It was not interesting whatsoever. I thought I was gonna get a lot more experiences. When Esther was crying, I realized she should be crying because they all wasted an absolutely amazing opportunity to show something amazing on that runway in front of the Eiffel Tower, but for the most part, they all squandered it. Okay, wait. They're doing critiques in the atelier? Okay. That's unusual for these kinds of shows, though. I feel like it would eliminate the idea of a safe space for the designers, no? And now Heidi is saying that any number of designers could be sent home after any singular fashion show. Good. Honestly, send most of them home and end the season early because I'm bored shitless. Now they're gonna talk to some of the designers. First up is Jasmine. Jasmine, babes, there was nothing luxury about that blue dress, and light as air doesn't mean sheer fabric in a goddess cut. Again, I don't care about her looking naked. That shouldn't even really be a con in my opinion. It's just the cut of the dress was been there, done that, and have the sheer t-shirt. And to be honest, from that low shot angle, the flow on it is kind of beautiful and nobody noticed it. Also, Nicole Richie is wrong, because that was the runway piece. Didn't we establish that the runway piece could be out there? Like, I'm confused as to why the judges seem to be confused about the concept of the show. Wait, so now she's getting eliminated. What does that mean? Holy shit, did they just get rid of whoever they want? whenever they want? Like, I'm confused. Okay, if Jasmine just got sent home, next up is Magpie Martha, so she's gotta go as well. Especially with the ensemble bullshit she's currently wearing. Naomi called out the bullshit, and for that, I continue to stan. Of course, Nicole Richie liked it. I mean, again, must I bring up Revolve? And she's making the cut. What is happening? Why is she, what? I mean, maybe they're keeping her for ratings, like, who knows? She's the new Maria Grazia to me, though, so I can't wait to see what Magpie Martha is making up on the next episode, although I think she should be gone. Next up is G1, and if she's getting dragged, I'm going to be very angry. I loved her storyline. I truly think it's easily understandable and plays into her branding super well. Classic American is such a buzzy branding term, and it's smart for her to be able to add that with her Korean inspirations. She mentions that it's inspired by the Korean hanbok, which is a cultural dress that is for formal or semi-formal events. The issue for the second look for me stems from the silhouette. I think if we had gotten that really large A-line silhouette inspired by the hanbok, it would have hit it out of the park for me. Google even says that the hanbok is characterized by simple lines and bright colors, and well, I think she's nailed that part completely. You want to talk about building a brand snapshot? I think she has nailed it. And that denim look, I would buy in a second. Naomi liked G1's look, and honestly, that means our girl has taste. I mean, listen, Miss Naomi Campbell has shown no symptoms with her cleaning routines, thank God. Then there is Esther, and I hope she's gonna get dragged. Okay, we get it, 2 hours to make the dress, yada yada, but was it really special? No. I do like her brand snapshot, and she actually wove the German rock and roll as well as the Russian avant-garde of the 20th century into the runway look, but the classy French part I wasn't seeing anywhere. Wait, now Esther is winning? I'm confused. The judging on the show is really confusing, like why did she win? I need to know, what? I don't understand how she won. Like, how did they come to that conclusion? Like, somebody explain to me what is the criterion to win? And, well, now it's on the store, I guess, so we'll investigate. Let's get into that. Okay, so we are going to go and look at the Amazon store for making the cut. I want to see what's happening. I want to see what's going on. I want to see this dress, what it looks like, and what has come of this winning look. The winning look, Esther's V-neck dress. Sold out. Shop the dress. Okay, it's already sold out. Esther, known for her edgy menswear-inspired separates, Berlin-based Esther Perbont has been designing her eponymous line for 15 years. Oh my goodness. So it's called the limited edition Making the Cut Episode 1 winning look, Esther's black V-neck dress. So here's my thing. It has 2.5 stars. Not a great start, to be honest. So let's look, let's read about this dress. Let's see it. So there it is in all of its glory. It's a bit sacky, it's a bit rectangular. Is it really interesting? No, not at all. Body, 100% polyester. Gross. But also that makes sense for Amazon. They're like fast fashion central. They're not gonna put, a lot of money into these pieces. Love for them to do that. And I think if they'd actually like to become a, reputable fashion retailer, they should do that. But am I shocked they're doing fast fashion pieces? No. It is imported, which I don't know what that means. Is it not made in Paris? Is it not made in the US? Also, it's machine washable. Good, nice, perfect. And due to popular demand, this product is now out of stock. Nice for some. Each of these winning looks is limited in quantity. Should you miss out this time, please tune into the next episode for more exciting winning looks. And also, they could recreate this dress if there really is a lot of, want for it. It could become a permanent piece because they have all the patterns and stuff. Made of lightweight, non-stretch fabric that drapes beautifully. This roomy and unlined mid-length dress features a menswear-inspired cummerbund belt that cinches your waist in the front and leaves the back to flow loosely. From the designer, I love garments that have multiple influences. This dress has a bit of traditional Japanese influence while being modern and sophisticated. You can dress it down with sneakers, wear it as a beach dress with flip-flops, yikes, or style it as a red carpet look with high heels. Okay. Weird that they're mentioning Japanese influences here because we didn't hear that on the show, so okay. Let's look at these reviews though, because Lord knows it's gonna be fun. Gateway to Japan Inc. 1 star. Too expensive for quality of construction, seaming, and fabric. I watched the episode 1 of Making the Cut and ordered this dress with hope that it will be figure flattering and comfortable. However, unfortunately for the price tag of almost $70, the quality was very disappointing. It was made in India with probably rushed production, allegedly. Seams of belt holes, V-neck opening were terrible. The worst part was detachable and adjustable belt, which was not mentioned clearly either in the program or in the product description. The belt has adjustable located sewable snaps. They are not secured, and if you select snaps to shorten the belt, you get flimsy end, which can scratch your skin with snap. Very disappointed, and after trying on, decided to return. Like Esther's design, hope that her other design will be produced in better quality to justify it. Don't buy this dress. Not flattering and does not wear at all as how it appears. It's just a big black shapeless sheet pretty much. You didn't think it was gonna look like a sheet? It's a gigantic rectangle dress. Like, what were you expecting? Bad quality. Definitely an expectation versus reality moment. What was your expectation? It's a goddamn design competition show where they make the dresses in 2 hours! What were you expecting? I'm not sure how to put it on. I can't tell if this is too small or I'm not wearing it correctly. KCH, Versatile LBD. When I first tried this on, I was sure I would end up returning it. It seemed baggy and the belt felt wrong. I decided to try it on one more time before sending it back, and now I love it. I played with the belt a little and spread out the pleats, and it really works. I'm petite, 5'2", 120 pounds, and long-waisted, so the wider belt works better for me. Now, it really looks like a modern, almost Japanese-inspired dress, which technically it is. I think I'll add a couple more snaps to secure the top of the belt to the top of the waist opening, but overall, I really like it. Wish it was made of cotton, but the weight of the fabric is really nice. So stupid if people giving it negative reviews because their size went quick. My size was gone 5 minutes after I got mine. Limited is limited. A true capitalist through and through, Casey. LR Economu, don't know how to say that. Just watched the first episode. Was excited about the opportunity to purchase this dress. Opted not to after learning it was 100% polyester. So listen, I don't know if the dress was exactly well made, but it doesn't seem like people were incredibly excited about it. I don't know why it won, but it won and it sold out, so to each their own. All in all, I think we need to watch the next episode to really determine if this is a fashion hellfire or not. But in reality, I think Next in Fashion is winning. We need more time with all the designers and the judges like Next in Fashion, as it allows a real exploration of their work. But right now, these designers are looking a little bit shoddy. It also allows the designers to get feedback in a way that the audience can see and react to. Like, we'll just never know how the judges felt about all the other looks, which is really annoying. Let's check back next episode though, because I need to see how this show progresses. So please let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Were there any designers that you loved and any that you hated? I'd love to hear about them. So again, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode, and TTYL.